Yuki and John's Patreon.
All right, Yuki. I'm John Brennan. You're Yuki
Nakamura.
Yes, and we had some, I don't know, feedback on the fart episode recently from a friend of yours. And hey, sometimes you just got to get stupid in order to get smart. Look, we this is the thing about you and me. We could talk about everything from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, right? We could at least join the conversation.
Right.
And even if we don't know things about those conversations, or you say it's quantum physics or whatever, we're still curious and we can learn. Right? But with farts,
yes.
What's the problem? We can't talk about the lowest form of human communication, the fart. I mean, if you're farting at me, I'm farting at you. We could talk through those farts.
I'm not saying anything. I did have a conversation about the fart with you.
Yeah.
I mean, just I should never have said that. Right?
You shouldn't have said it because now
but you were the one said, maybe, subject was too stupid. So.
No, it was stupid. That's the whole thing. But come on, you gotta give.
So I just said, one of my friends said that was stupid. That wasn't fun. That was just one example.
I'll tell you the truth. That farts kind of bombed. Nobody really listened to farts. I mean, our regular audience listen to farts,
right?
But usually with each episode, we get some people commenting online saying, with the pornography episode or the Universal Monsters episode or the Samuel Fuller episode, a lot of comments, a lot of people joining in. They say, oh, thank you for introducing me to this, that, and the other thing. Farts.
Well, at least, crickets. Well, she said, stupid and not funny, but at least she listened to
Yeah. So I'm thankful that she listened, and it's great. But look, if she didn't like farts, she might like what we're doing today. Farts Noir. I mean, wait, so sorry. Film Noir. Yeah. So we're going to switch gears here because some weeks we get dumb, some weeks we get in the middle, some weeks we try to do a little smart. This week we're going to talk about something that we both love. Film Noir. We both are movie nuts, and this is something that we talked about doing for a little while now.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of research. Just a little bit, not too much, because we don't want to sound too smart. We still want to be farts and stupids and whatever.
We like to be movie fun, right?
Movie fun, yeah.
No, we're not the movie scholar or,
not
critic.
a scholar, just a fan.
Yeah.
And, because whenever I watch a movie, I don't really, even if I hate it, I could still try to find something redeeming about it, saying, okay, this was this person's life's work, and even though they failed, at least they tried, that sort of thing. But film noir, we're so far removed from that genre because, yes, neo-noir is a thing, and maybe we'll get into a little bit of the neo-noirs. But we want to talk about the heyday of film noir. The, what was it, the 30s through the
50s?
The late 50s, maybe early 60s, maybe. Yeah. Because, then you get into something like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Is that a film noir or is that horror?
I think that's in between.
It's an in between, so that's almost a hybrid. That's that's the evolution from noir into horror, which is great because film noir does have horrific elements.
Because same director did Kiss Me Deadly, right?
Yes, Robert Aldrich.
That's like a kind of little bit sci-fi, about the nuclear thing, and then but still count as a noir movie.
Still counts as a noir. So the thing that I looked at the most for this episode is this book from Turner Classic Movies. It's called Into the Dark, The Hidden World of Film Noir, 1941 to 1950. So they're only taking a snapshot of, but it's still, this is the prime time. Most of the movies that I personally love are from this era. And this is by Mark A. Vieira, 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 I think. And then with a forward by Eddie Mueller.
Oh.
And he's great. He has a great show on TCM called Noir Alley.
Oh, that's him. Well, yeah.
That's him. He did the forward to this book. Okay. He also has written a bunch of books about noir and stuff. But this one I got at my public library. It was just staring me in the face. It's got, what's his name? Burt Lancaster on the front. It's very cool. So why don't we start with, before we get into actual details and movies that we love, what was your first introduction to film noir, and why do you love it?
I think my first noir, Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, and which is my favorite.
Double Indemnity.
Double Indemnity. Yeah, well, now you're talking Billy Wilder.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Billy Wilder. Both Billy Wilder movies.
And then Witness for the Prosecution.
Another Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder.
Oh,
yeah.
man. What a twist. Witness for the Prosecution, I think, has one of the best twists ever.
Right.
It's
That's
so
a
good.
very, clever twist. And then, but based on the book, the Agatha Christie, see? So.
Yeah, and also I believe there was a play version of it, too.
Right. Well, she wrote it as a play first.
Yeah.
So then play became a movie. So.
Yeah. And then, of course, the great Charles Lawton
Right.
plays the lead in Witness for the Prosecution, who directed only one movie in his career, Night of the Hunter.
That's right. That's one of your. You just watched a month ago.
Oh my goodness! I went to the Museum of the Moving Image with my beloved Liz Shack, and we saw it on the big screen in 35.
The Robert Mitchum and the Love and Hate.
Love and Hate on the Knuckles.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the sequence, not to give a spoiler, I might have said this before, but there's 20 minutes in that movie, maybe even a little longer, that is one of the greatest sequences in all of cinema history. From the point where Shelley Winters is at the lake to when he's chasing after the kids down the river, and the kids are trying to escape, and he's just singing and following them on the pony and all that stuff. Man, what an intense, amazing, beautiful sequence. And it's sad because Charles Lawton made one movie. It wasn't that Night of the Hunter wasn't actually critically acclaimed at the beginning, so he never directed again.
Too bad, though.
Too bad, we were wrong.
He could be a good director. And
If Night of the Hunter is any indication, he's as good of a director as he is an actor, and possibly with a few more movies, he would have even been a better director than he was an actor. Which is it's a crime that we were robbed of his filmography. So, all right, let's talk about it. Continue. You said the Billy Wilder stuff really hit you.
Then actually, he's a German, right? So, of course, film noir, that style came from German filmmaking.
Right. Early, the darkness of the early German expressionism, right? That with like the Dr. Caligari or Fritz Lang stuff,
right?
Dr. Mabuse.
The lighting and then shadow and all the style. So, in the kind of makes sense. Billy Wilder is a German.
So he was probably influenced by all that stuff growing up. Yeah. So so German film has a big influence on noir.
Yeah.
But film noir is a very American thing, and I think Americans did it the best, to be honest. So what's interesting here, let me give you a little piece of a tidbit from this book, Into the Dark. It's saying that the term film noir wasn't coined until 1946 by a film critic named Nino Frank. He was pondering a new type of Hollywood film. At the time, of course, every American film was new to the French because they had been deprived of Hollywood product by their government since the 1940. So once these flood of American movies, crime, that sort of stuff started to come in, the French went nuts for it. So he wrote an essay and he dubbed the movement film noir. Now that didn't catch hold as the title of the genre until 1976, when an American critic cited this review by Nino Frank, and then from there, like 1976 on, film noir was the way that people referenced this style of movie.
So maybe they called it neo-noir then. So neo-noir is more like an American style of film noir.
Well, neo-noir, I would say, is something post-1962.
Right.
Anything after that is sort of a neo-noir. Yeah. But the prime heyday of noirs, I mean, look, it's like 19... Because the first one that they cite here as in this book is Citizen Kane. As... Oh, no, sorry. 1941, it's Maltese Falcon and Citizen Kane, which came out in the same year. They said those are the two movies that kicked off this genre. Noir? Yeah, but even though the people in Hollywood didn't understand what film noir was, they just knew these are dark pictures, adult stories, betrayal, femme fatales, all this stuff, these little nuggets of things, even though they say that Maltese Falcon wasn't a pure noir, because a pure noir, the lead guy is in deep,
Right.
or he's betrayed somebody and he's
Right.
got to get out of it, and it's always so. The guy, what's the Sam Spade?
Sam Spade,
He's always on top of it. He's never in trouble. He's the one who's always has the upper hand in the Maltese Falcon. So that's not a pure noir, people say. But it does have the elements of the noir, all the darkness and the betrayals and the crisscross and who did what to whom.
But like a Citizen Kane, noir style, but it's not really fits film noir.
Right,
no?
that's why they're saying these are sort of the prototypes for what became this genre. The film noir genre was inspired by this. And then, of course, as the Americans started to make more and more of these things, tropes started to come up. Like we mentioned, the femme fatale is one. Let's talk about, because instead of trying to analyze exactly what film noir is, we know what it is because it's a feeling, right?
Yeah, it's a feeling.
It's
too,
darkness. It's dark film. So, what are some of the movies that you love besides the Billy Wilder stuff that you just?
I like House of Bamboo.
House of Bamboo. That's a Samuel Fuller one.
Yeah.
But that's in color.
Right, but still noir though.
No, it is noir, and it's not typical though of the film noir movement. A lot of those were beloved because of the black and white cinematography and the way that they shoot it. But House of Bamboo is one that's in color, but still has the tropes of the noir.
Right, and then those friends come to Tokyo, and then he's betrayed by all the army buddies. I mean,
Right.
it's still not the completely, but sort of close to those betrayed parts.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then dealing with different culture.
Yeah.
Japanese culture, and then Japanese police chasing American bad guy, and then this one I can't remember, but someone says this is happy ending, so it's not a film noir.
Not a pure noir. So
Right.
a pure noir should have an unhappy ending, or at least an ending that is bittersweet, maybe.
Something like that. But this one really, boy gets girl, and a really happy ending.
Really.
So yeah.
Sometimes horrible things happen, and then good things. The outcome is good. So whatever. Who cares if it's not pure? I just recently, I've been really getting into film noir. When I was in college, I would watch a lot of independent movies, such as John Cassavetes, things like that. That was my big introduction into that scene in film school. I didn't really get into film noir until sort of recently. I mean, I've seen a lot of the stuff over the years, obviously the Billy Wilder stuff, the big ones, but just recently it's become my favorite genre to watch. We watched this movie called They Live by Night.
Oh.
Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Great movie, and it's sort of the prototype for something like True Romance or Badlands by Terrence Malick, just about a couple who wants to get away from this other life and sort of do this world of crime, and they can't keep getting pulled back in. It's a whole thing. Great movie. Farley Granger is the lead.
Terrence Malick.
Oh, you don't like Terrence
Well,
Malick?
I wouldn't say I don't like it, but his movies just always hard to see because the tempo I don't like.
The what?
Tempo.
The tempo. Well, yeah, I mean, Lloyd Kaufman always said Terrence Malick, all he does is shoot grass for like 25 minutes. You just watch grass in the wind for 25
Yeah,
minutes.
I mean, they go at that Thin Red Blue or
Thin Red Line.
oh my God, how many times do you have to see just
Yeah, I mean,
the grass are just
waving
waving?
grass.
Yeah. It's worse than that is something life of tree. Tree of life.
Tree of life. Yeah, Life of the Tree. Yeah, no, that one was very. I think he was trying to go Kubrickian, but it turned to be sort of pompous. I don't know. I barely remember anything about that movie.
Well,
except
that's
there was
what I'm
a
talking
dinosaur.
about.
Yeah.
You see it, but then you come out from the movie theater. Then what just did I see?
I just came up with Terrence Malick's his genre is grass noir. It's grass noir.
Grass noir, yeah.
So let's get back to pure noir. Yeah. So let's just talk about some of our favorites. One of my favorites, like I said, is Detour. Detour is supposedly in the public domain now,
right?
But it's on Criterion Channel, and there's a great transfer.
I think you can see it in the YouTube.
You can find this for free on YouTube. But that's a really great one. The Killing, Stanley Kubrick.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's a great one. There's some innovative camera stuff in there too. Great story. The acting's great. You got that guy Sterling Hayden.
Hayden, yeah.
Who's from The Godfather, right. And
the ending is like a very ironic ending. You know?
Oh my God! What an ending! Look, let's say this right now, guys. If we're going to be talking about some spoilers in these movies because some of the best parts, we have to discuss them. So spoilers. If you don't want to know, go watch it and come listen again. So the Killing, the end of that movie, when the money flies
and yeah.
Oh my God, the bag opens up and it flies. So because there's that whole sequence where he's trying to get the bag back and he's trying to stop, and you just know he's on a collision course for doom. And then when that money starts flying, you just go, oh no! Even though they're bad guys, I mean,
it's like easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Yep. Yeah. What a great movie! There's a great shot in The Killing. There's this really odd perspective where it starts on a mirror, but the lettering on the door is correct, right? It's not backwards. It looks right, but then they pull out and it shows that it's actually in a mirror, so the lettering on the door was backwards because you're shooting through the back of the door. And he comes in and it pulls in and then shows the actual room. Go look at this shot. I mean, it's kind of a well-known shot.
Okay, I don't remember.
It's so cool. It's such a cool movie. And then what was the other thing in that movie that was great? You got the femme fatale, the wife of the guy who's hounding him and trying to but then she's betraying him with some other guy who then tries to steal the money.
Yeah.
There's a great guy in that movie, the wrestler who he never had another role. The guy who takes his shirt off and starts the fight in the bar to distract everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, he was actually a professional wrestler.
Wrestler?
Yeah, and he only had 1 or 2 roles in the world, but he's really great in that movie. Although you can't understand a goddamn word he's saying because he's like Swedish or something. I don't know. He's just like, and you're like, is he speaking English? What the fuck is going on? He looks like George the Animal Steel. So yeah, The Killing's a great one. That's a Kubrick movie.
Kubrick, yeah.
What else? Oh, Out of the Past. Have you seen Out of the Past?
Yes.
You don't like it?
No.
Oh, what? So this is interesting. Why don't you like Out of the Past? That's a Robert Mitchum joint. Jacques Turner is the director.
And then, Robert Mitchum, it's strange. Like, he played lots of bad guy in the film noir.
Yeah.
But I really can't see him as a really bad guy. But at the same time, he plays a really bad guy.
Yeah, I think he's really good in certain things, Robert Mitchum. And then other times, I think he's phoning it in, right? But with Out of the Past, I really think he's good in that movie, and I think that movie's really good. But I see what you mean about him. Sometimes it's just like,
yeah,
he's just on the telephone, or he was drunk or something, and he's just not giving it his all.
I mean, I like him more character like the Yakuza.
The Yakuza. That's a good one too. That's
it's neo-noir,
Paul Schrader, right?
Right, sure.
Yeah, that's a neo-noir.
Yeah, but that kind of character, I can see him playing it.
Yeah.
But real bad guy like even the Night of
Night of the Hunter. Oh, don't come on! He was great in that movie.
I know he's great, but just
he was a huge pothead. He was like
he was busted during some filming, right?
Yeah, he was Hollywood's like biggest pothead.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. You know who I love? Burt Lancaster. You ever see The Sweet Smell of Success with Tony Curtis?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant movie. I'm talking brilliant. I've watched that movie now 3 times since I first saw it.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I'm obsessed with it because Tony Curtis is so fucking cool in that movie. He's a sleazeball, but he's cool. He's a cool motherfucker. And Burt Lancaster and his creepy...
I have to see it again.
He has a creepy relationship with his sister, where Burt Lancaster, you can almost tell that he wants to, have sexual relations with his sister, but they don't say it outright because back then they were more clever than that, right? But it becomes to a head where Tony Curtis is trying to get the girl, and he's like trying to keep her away. It's a whole thing. So good. Sweet Smell of Success, great movie, and not a lot going on in that movie in terms of violence and stuff. It's just this guy who's going around, reporter, trying to get information and things like that. It's a very good movie. What's another one? Out of the Past, we talked about Detour, The Killing. How can we even... I mean, look, forget about The Maltese Falcon. Bogey and Bacall.
Oh, which one?
All of them. Every Bogey and Bacall movie. Liz Shack and I just recently watched them all, not in a row. We kind of did them out of order, but we watched all the Bogey and Bacall team-up movies. And Key Largo.
Oh, Key Largo?
Key Largo, directed by John Huston.
Right.
You've got Edward G. Robinson in a huge villain role. Edward G., man.
He's my favorite. I will look at that.
Yeah, on my wall here, Liz Shack, our producer and my beloved, she has a picture of Edward G. Robinson that stares at me all day long as whatever I do. I walk past and stare at him.
I really like him in the Double Indemnity. He played the editor or chief editor.
Oh yeah.
That the relationship with Fred McMurray.
Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
Keys, yeah. And the thing about that role is that he was reluctant to take it at first because he found he was the leading man for a very long time, but then he loved the material so much that he trusted Billy Wilder so much that he took this smaller role but killed it, and that created a whole new life for him as an actor, as a character actor, where it got him into all these other things, The Stranger with Orson Welles and all these things that he did, Soylent Green, so he put in all this work, whereas if he had just stuck to his guns and said, I'm a lead actor, he may have faded away. So thankfully, we got, what you're talking about. So I think you said off mic one time that you weren't crazy about the Bogey Bacall movies, Bogart and Bacall.
No Bogart. And only I really like Humphrey Bogart is The Desperate Hours.
See, Desperate Hours is a great one, too. That's a home invasion movie, right? And they're criminals on the run. Right. Bogart and a couple of his goons.
Yeah.
And they just take over a house for a suburban family.
Forget the remake.
Oh, who's in that? Mickey Rourke. Garbage remake, right? Garbage. And I love Mickey Rourke roles, too, but it just doesn't even come close.
Right.
The Desperate Hours is a great one. But getting back to Bogey Bacall, Dark Passage, all right? I have to talk about this for a minute because the beginning of Dark Passage, in my opinion, is completely innovative as a filmmaking technique. Who
directed the Dark Passage?
Let's look that up because it really is a marvel that this movie starts this way. So the beginning of the movie, the first 40 minutes, is pretty much from the perspective of Bogart's character. And he escapes prison, and he goes through all these adventures. He gets in a car to get in. He gets into San Francisco. He meets Bacall, who helps him escape because he's an innocent man trying to clear his name. But you do not see his face the whole first 40 minutes of the movie. It's all from his perspective.
That's right.
And then he gets plastic surgery, and it's Bogart's face.
Right.
So it all of a sudden it turns, and then there's this like kind of long sequence where he's in these creepy bandages, and it's just a fucking, to me, it's so innovative.
I'm still not I'm not 100% clear about the beginning, like why that woman, saved him.
Because they say it offhand in a quick way. it's sort of not really explained that well.
Yeah.
But she says, "I believe you're innocent." That's really her reasoning. She's like, "I believe that you are innocent, and I believe that she knows people he knows, and that's why." Through her own research and her own talking to the people that he knows.
I don't know. Still, that the beginning part, something not clear to me. Yeah.
It's not clear, but it's come on. You tell me, what other movie started out from the perspective of a character that then all of a sudden you get a plastic surgery and it's
That's an interesting way of shooting. But
yeah,
there is one movie called Lady in the Lake.
Lady in the Lake.
You don't see every whole movie is a POV shot.
Oh, I don't think I've seen this one. Is that Lady in the Lake? Is that based on a Raymond Carver?
Yeah, or something. Yeah, I mean
Raymond Chandler. Sorry,
Chandler.
Yeah. Oh, really? That movie? Okay, now I'm gonna read.
You don't see the guy's face. Only we see his face is a mirror. There's one shot in the mirror. He just walked in. Then we see his face. But everything else is his POV shot.
You're kidding. Okay, now I'm going to watch this movie because I didn't know that was how it was shot, and I love that kind of stuff.
It's interesting, but as a filmmaking, it doesn't work, The movie, you see character's face, reaction, there is a certain element as a movie, yeah. But if you don't see main character's face entirely, it's something missing,
But that's why Dark Passage delivers, because when you see his face and then Bogarts finalizes.
But I think that's a good way to start then, because it's not the whole movie.
No,
right?
no, it's not the whole movie.
Then, we see, then that kind of beginning part, interesting start.
Yeah.
Then, real. But this movie, entire movie is his POV shot.
So then Lady in the Lake, so it doesn't ever change. It just finishes out as
as a POV. So
I'll still want to watch it. I love that stuff. I don't know why. It's like the prototype to Hardcore Henry. That action movie that was all in one shot in POV. It's all the
It's something like that. I mean, it's no effect. It's like if it's a part of the whole movie, that effect is very effective.
Yeah.
But it's becoming a whole thing.
It gets tedious, right?
Yeah, it's not effective anymore. It's like just one long technique.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the director of Dark Passage was Delmer Daves.
Oh, Delmer Daves? He made a bunch of film noir movies.
Yeah, it's saying he did 310 to Yuma, which is a famous one. Broken Arrow, but not the John Travolta one. The one from the 50s.
Western.
The
James,
Western. Yeah, so I think that I don't know. I feel like the other ones with Bogey and Bacall, you got Key Largo, of course. That's John Huston. Oh, To Have and To Have Not, the Ernest Hemingway.
Oh,
I love that one because I love Walter Brennan.
Oh, I see.
Who I hope I'm related to in some way, shape, or form. But he is so fucking good. In every movie I see him in, he just elevates everything.
Oh. He was in lots of John Ford movies.
Totally. Just John Ford movies. I watched a movie with my dad recently, and I'm spacing on the name, but he plays Judge Roy Bean, the real-life guy Walter Brennan plays it, and the lead is Gary Cooper. And I think it's called The Westerner, actually. Great Western. And it's just a really amazing role because I never really see Walter Brennan in a really big role. It's a lot of smaller parts, and he comes in and out of the movie. This one, he's basically there the whole time. I loved it. He's also great in Rio Bravo.
Right.
There's so many good things. And I'm just going to try and seek out every single Walter Brennan performance I possibly can because the way he talks, I love that.
Is that the Rio Bravo or Rio Lobo, like when the gunfight? He brings the dynamite in this.
Is that Rio Bravo? Yeah, because they're trying to break into the police station.
So it's like when the old guy brings dynamite.
Yeah,
that's the best.
That's the best. Let's see, and then and of course the most famous one, The Big Sleep. That's like the most famous Bogey and Bacall.
Well, somehow, like I said, the Desperate Hours, just a Bogey, right? And then also. No Bacall, but African Queen I like.
I like African Queen. So but is that noir or is that adventure? That's more of an adventure film.
Adventure, I think. African Queen is
you got Hepburn and what's his name? Bogart in African Queen, and he's a riverboat sailor, and he has to bring Bacall up. I'm sorry, Hepburn up river, and
maybe Bacall and then Bogart real couple. Maybe I don't like him.
You don't like that? Well, for me, no offense to my beloved or whatever, but I think Bacall is the greatest movie siren, the beauty in the whole thing. Name any woman who ever graced the silver screen, Bacall gives them a run for their money. She's a perfect creature. On top of that, she's different. She's got that amazing smoky voice, and she's got that smoldering. She's always good too. And I think she's just a classy lady who is one of the greatest film actresses of all time.
I see. I like more Rita Hayworth or Susan Hayward.
I get it. The hair flip, the Rita Hayworth hair flip. That's what got little Yuki going. Let's see what else we got there. Let's think. Okay. Well, we can't talk about Bogart without talking about my very favorite Bogart movie, which I only just recently saw. It's called In a Lonely Place.
Oh.
Holy
Is that he played the writer?
He plays a screenwriter.
Okay.
And the director of that movie, I'm spacing on his name, but he famously said, I took the gun out of Bogart's hand. So Bogart was doing all these movies, and he was getting tired of using guns and being a detective and all this stuff, so they wrote this character for him who's still sort of a tough guy, wisecracking guy, but he's a Hollywood screenwriter instead of a detective or a cop or something like that, or a thug.
Bacall was in it?
No, it's not Bacall. It's she's also famous. Let me pull it up because really me and Liz watched this and we were floored because at first it's sort of a typical noir, but the ending of this movie is one of the most powerful endings almost ever because you don't see it coming. And apparently the original ending for this movie wasn't going to be what it is. They rewrote it on the day. It was going to be another typical ending where, they find out that somebody didn't kill somebody or something, whatever. It was going to be very pit-pat, normal noir ending. This ending is existential. It's philosophical. It's heartbreaking. It's people who don't even know what they have until it's gone. And the whole rest of their lives after this movie, that they're going to live in misery because this was the greatest time of their life and they fucked it up. The greatest love they could have ever had. Oh, In a Lonely Place. Here, let me see. In a Lonely Place. Oh, by Nicholas Ray.
Oh, Nicholas Ray.
And he did a lot of other stuff too. They Live by Night, which is what we said. Johnny Guitar, Rebel Without a Cause. So he's done a lot of great work too. But this one, who's the woman?
Who's the woman?
Let's see, Gloria Graham.
Oh, Gloria.
Yeah, and great fucking movie. Just really, I won't spoil the ending because really it knocked me out. The end of this movie, and it's now up there for me. Sunset Boulevard will always sort of be my favorite noir. We'll talk about that a little bit in depth in a minute. But this is coming close because I haven't watched it again since, and I have a feeling I'm going to catch things that I didn't catch, and it's just like, I can't express enough how much I love that movie. And even there is still a couple of fist fights and this and that, and Bogart's he doesn't take shit from nobody and all that sort of stuff. So, it's good. All right, let's talk about Sunset Boulevard for a minute.
Yes,
because that's my ultimate favorite film noir.
That's it's not really crime story, right? I mean, it's okay. The guy's dead.
So spoilers again, everybody.
Yeah, spoilers.
We have to get into spoilers. So it's an innovative technique.
Right.
It's told from the perspective of a guy who's already dead.
So whole movie is a flashback.
There's a whole the guy is dead in the pool at the beginning.
He narrates his story,
and then he starts narrating the story after he's dead.
Yeah.
Now you want to talk about dark? That's some dark shit.
That's dark, right? It's not really the same, but Double Indemnity, same thing. He comes
He's
back.
dying.
And but he's recording.
Yeah.
And again, he narrates
His own death.
on death of
essentially.
that
Yeah.
story. So
Fred McMurray, by the way, in Double Indemnity, I couldn't believe what I was seeing the first time I watched that because he's the dad in My Three Sons. And that's how I knew him growing up. He's the fucking wholesome dad in My Three Sons. And in Double Indemnity, he's killing people, he's smoking,
Yeah.
he's drinking.
And Shaggy Dog.
Oh, and he's also Liz just made a good point. He's the dad in Shaggy Dog. So he was
Shaggy.
a very wholesome actor to me. And then I saw Double Indemnity, and
Right.
I was like, "Holy, she's a dark motherfucker." Yeah. Creepy. All right, so back to Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
What? I mean, Gloria Swanson. It's so, what a role. What a piece of work. The fact that it's all about how the silent film stars have
Right.
been left behind.
So it's kind of from silence to talkie. It's the transition piece.
Yeah.
So if you watch her acting, it's like a silent movie acting. Overreacting like
The whole thing.
whole thing. So and then towards the end when she does this, and then projection is going, lights up. So we really watching a talkie movie, but we really watching a silent movie.
Right.
Her as a silent star. So I thought that was a good way to show it, and I mean very clever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also the heartbreaking scene of Buster Keaton playing cards, and they're just
It's
some of the
really right. Totally, time is changing, and then we're seeing that.
these poor
Right.
silent film megastars
right,
have been left behind in the
Right.
talkie era.
and then even her house,
Yeah.
it's all rundown house. It's a great big house in the Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
But if you look at well, it's like a rundown. So the whole thing, just to look visually showing transition from, dying silent to becoming a new era
Yeah.
in the Hollywood.
And being left behind her.
Right.
It's the decay of her life. Her life is falling apart around her, and it's decaying, crumbling, and she's
Right.
going out. It's the end for her, essentially. I think with Sunset Boulevard, there's some interesting elements of horror to me, because I just feel like somebody like Tim Burton, say, he was probably highly inspired by Sunset Boulevard, because there's stuff in there that's Burton-esque. The monkey funeral, the chimp funeral. She has a dead chimp that it's just sitting there in the room,
Right.
dead, and he goes in and he sees it dead. It's just like a creepy ass image that I feel like inspired a lot of horror people or something like that. The same thing, similarly with the organ, where the wind kicks up and the pipes in the organ go, and it's that's a horror thing.
horror tone.
It's a horror tone. And then who's the guy who's her caretaker? Eric von Stroheim.
Eric von Stroheim, yeah.
He was a director.
He was a director, great director,
Yeah.
and then silent era.
Yeah.
Now he's like a chauffeur or like a, I mean,
her caretaker.
Yeah, caretaker. So that's like a really saying, time change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lead guy is a screenwriter
Right,
as well, and that's why he sort of gets involved with her, right?
right.
Because he's trying to get her to come out of retirement for
Right.
something. Yeah. Oh man, I love that movie. And then the whole, of course, the end. I'm ready for my close up and all
Right.
that stuff. And she gets closer to the camera, and yeah.
And then, and then that guy says action, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fucking masterpiece.
masterpiece.
Beyond, to me, it'll be hard to top that. I'm going to
Right.
keep watching these film noir movies, but it'll be really hard to top Sunset Boulevard. Let's look at this guy. So this guy, Eddie Mueller, I think that's how you say his name, the TCM Noir Alley guy, he has his 25 film noirs that will stand the test of time. So let's talk about a couple of them on there, because we haven't touched upon Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil.
Touch of
that's
Evil, the
right.
Orson Welles one, which is at number 23 on his list. Touch of Evil, Jesus Christ.
Beginning.
The fucking one shot in the beginning, the whole oneer, as they say.
Like a 10-15 minutes one take.
Well, what was it used to be? The film magazine would be what, 16 minutes or less or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
No, less than 20 minutes. Or maybe around 15 minutes.
15 minutes of film. So you were only able to get one take in 15 minutes of film.
That's longest, biggest magazine.
Yeah.
Film time. Yeah.
Right. So Orson Welles opens up Touch of Evil with a one shot that goes all over the place. I mean, the camera's moving like a bastard.
That's supposed to be Mexico, but that's Venice.
Venice Beach?
Venice Beach, when like a boardwalk coming down.
Yeah.
Then, coming.
I'm gonna watch that and with that in mind. I didn't realize that was actually
that's
Venice.
Venice
Oh,
Beach.
that's amazing. So yeah, because the camera goes up, around, down, over, sees the whole thing, and then all of a sudden it just slowly goes into the bottom of a car and there's a bomb on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck. Something bad's about to go down now.
Yeah.
How about Charlton Heston as a Mexican? You like that?
Back then is okay. Now if you do that today, people say no, that can be right. Had the wrong casting and blah blah blah. It's gonna be a controversy problem casting. But
at least he didn't do a really horrible accent. That's a saving thing. He kind of didn't go that way.
Right.
And I think it's really funny in the movie Ed Wood when Ed Wood meets Orson Welles in the bar, and he's like, the studio wants me to put Charlton Heston as a Mexican. He's like really depressed about it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Watch Ed Wood. It's really funny.
Really?
He meets Orson Welles and he kind of comments on that. So Touch of Evil, another great one.
Great one, yeah.
And Orson Welles, who sort of, they say, kicked off the whole thing with the feel of Citizen Kane that became the elements of noir.
No, is ready from Shanghai Noir.
Oh, good question. I would say, because that's like 34 or something, right?
Right.
I would say that's a prototype of a noir, because it was before the noir was really in full force, right? But it has all the elements, right? Wait, sorry. I'm thinking of Shanghai Express. Lady from Shanghai, the Orson Welles right? Orson Welles.
Yeah.
That's the one with the mirrors and stuff.
Right, mirrors.
That one's definitely a noir. Sorry, I got confused. The other one was the one on Shanghai Express on the train. Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah.
That one has dark elements.
Right.
Here's a fun fact: is that supposedly Marlene Dietrich, the Asian woman in that movie, was her lover.
Right. I know that they don't say it, but
they don't say it, but they show it.
Right.
They say. But then in real life, guess what? Steamy love.
Yeah.
I always got to point that out.
But also she was bisexual. I thought the director, Joseph von Stamberg.
She was loving everybody.
She slept with everybody, probably.
Why wouldn't you? If you were a beautiful person, Yuki, wouldn't you just sleep with anybody you wanted? I mean, not that you. That was really came out wrong. if you were a movie star who was one of the most coveted people on earth, wouldn't you just fuck?
Well, I thought. Well, it's not. I thought. I mean, the Joseph von Stamberg and then Dietrich, they were, lovers and off screen.
Yeah, they open relationship. It was Hollywood in the 30s, man. That was it was Babylon. It was ancient Rome. Anyway, all right. Let's get back to Scarlet Street. Remember Scarlet Street?
Yeah.
Great one. Let's see. Detour, we said that's on at number 21. Gun Crazy, that's another very good solid one. That's at number 18 on his list.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, of course, The Killing. They Live by Night.
Yeah.
Sweet Smell of Success is on here. The Killers.
Oh.
The Killers. That's another good one. There's two versions of that. That's an Ernest Hemingway story.
The Burt Lancaster.
Yes, Burt Lancaster's in that. And I believe that's what the cover of this Into the Dark is from The Killers.
But there's a TV movie, Killers, Lee Marvin, directed by Don Siegel. I like that one better.
Oh, you kidding? Really?
Yeah.
Because I like Don Siegel a lot. Recently, Liz and I watched a movie called Charlie Varick.
Oh,
with
Walter
Matthau.
Yeah.
This is one of the most underrated movies of all time. I mean, how are people not talking about Charlie Varick to this day? How? And it's a Don Siegel joint.
Right.
It's so fucking good. So now I'm going to go watch a Lee Marvin movie with Don Siegel.
With Lee Marvin and then Kurt Gallagher. Those two guys are killers and then, chasing.
And this was in what, the 70s? 60s maybe?
60s. Then
Okay.
it was made as a TV movie.
Ah.
And then the TV station network said too violence. So that was like a first TV movie and then too violence. That's
So they had to put it out as an actual movie?
I think I don't know. I don't remember exactly. They recut for the TV but I saw in the movie theater.
Oh,
so,
wow, yeah. That's great. Oh,
and then
man.
Angie Dickinson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think Ronald Reagan was in it.
You're kidding.
I think
Our future president.
future president. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then
You know, it's like Home Alone 2 with Donald Trump. You got Ronald Reagan and the killers.
sometimes I get confused. There's another movie, Point Blank.
Oh, I love Point Blank. That's Lee Marvin
Lee
too.
Marvin too, right?
That's John Borman.
John Borman,
No,
the
I
French,
think,
British director.
yeah.
Yeah, also Angie Dickinson in this. I'm always confusing, these killers and then Point Blank, sometimes they're mixed up. But
Point Blank's another good one. That's sort of a neo-noir, I would say.
neo-noir, right?
But that's more, it's just badass. I mean, Lee Marvin in that movie is just a
Right.
badass motherfucker. He's going around, he's
Right.
trying to clear his name, he's kicking ass, right?
Now, here's the million-dollar question. The Point Blank. Is horror movie is real thing or horror movie is in his head?
Well, they leave it open-ended for you to decide, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I decided after I watched it. All I know is that the journey was badass. And I don't remember if there was the elements. So I'd have to watch it again to see
Right.
if there were clues as to whether or not it was real or not.
Every time I see it, I can't decide.
You can't decide?
No. I still don't have a conclusion. I'm not saying right or wrong. Even my own conclusion, I still don't have it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's another. So many movies I want to rewatch or watch,
Yeah.
because I'm skipping ones that I haven't even seen on this
Oh.
list. Let's see here. Oh, Nightmare Alley, the original Nightmare Alley.
Originally, yeah.
Great movie.
I didn't like the remake.
I
of
didn't
the-
see it
the-
yet, but
oh.
I'm willing to take it a chance because
Right.
Guillermo del Toro. How could you go wrong, man?
Right, well.
He usually is good.
It's good. I'm not saying bad, but I'm just saying
not
I
this.
like original. Yeah.
Okay. What else is on here? Of course, Double Indemnity.
Right.
The top ones. Oh, the number one is In a Lonely Place. Hello,
Oh.
talking for real. The second one I haven't seen, Criss Cross. That looks like a Burt Lancaster movie. Yeah, I don't know Criss Cross.
I don't
You
know
haven't seen that
Criss
one?
Cross, no.
We'll have to check that one if he's
Right.
putting it at number 2. Number 3 is Sunset Boulevard.
Oh.
Damn. And then number 4 is The Asphalt Jungle, which I also
Asphalt
haven't
Jungle.
seen.
Oh,
And then 5 is Double Indemnity.
I see.
So this is a great list, and I'd say I'd seen about half of these movies, and the other half.
No, I like Niagara.
What's that? I don't know that one.
It's a Marilyn Monroe, and it's a color, but
Marilyn Monroe.
yeah,
Really? She plays the femme fatale, or is it just?
yeah. She's married, but she has a boyfriend.
As per usual. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole story takes place in Niagara, and then this couple coming in and for vacation or honeymoon or something, and they got involved with somebody who was staying in next door. That's Marilyn Monroe and her husband.
Hell yeah.
It's a Henry Hathaway color movie, so it may not be the pure film noir, but I like it though. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, and then Joseph Cotton.
Oh, Joseph Cotton.
Yeah.
What a great actor. Right? I mean, the guy just...
Right.
He's so good. And then later on in his career, he kept working, and he did, all kinds of movies. He did...
The Shadow of Doubt. That was a good.
That's a great one, yeah.
Good.
And that's Hitchcock, of course.
Hitchcock noir, yeah.
But yeah, Joseph Cotton, he did a bunch of horror movies later on in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the third one was great noir.
The Third Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
That
goodness.
Orson Welles and then
Orson Welles comes in at the end of the movie and steals the
Right.
damn show.
yeah.
He's not in the whole thing, and all of a sudden at the end,
And then that the ending, that lady just walking in front of it, and then they don't talk,
yeah,
just passing.
beautiful shot at the end.
Yeah.
There, right.
But it's what's after?
Well, what I was just gonna say is I just looked up another list just to see what people are saying online, and guess what? One of them on there is one of the best film noirs of all time. Was what these people say, which is why I'm not going to trust them. L.A. Confidential.
Oh, come on! That's a neo noir.
Yeah,
right?
that's not even close. I mean, it's emulating
Right.
the noir, and I sort of like it, but it's not of all time the best.
No.
Get the hell out
Get
of
the
here.
hell out. Then I would say Chinatown is better.
Oh yeah. Oh, forget it. So Liz Shack, suggested when we were staying with my parents around 4th of July, and my parents have now a big sort of screen that they can project movies onto, and Liz suggested Chinatown because my parents hadn't seen it, my brother hadn't seen it.
Oh my God.
I wanted to rewatch it, and my Liz of course did, and to watch that movie with people who had never seen it before, and they were sort of reluctant at first. They weren't really, but the gasping and the I can't believe it, all the stuff that happens in that movie.
Right.
And I had forgotten how many things were so surprising. One of them was when he goes to the old folks' home, and he's trying to figure out why this old woman has all this property in her name or whatever, and then all of a sudden that big fight just breaks out of nowhere. I forgot. I was shocked. I was, the nose thing when he cuts his nose.
That's like it's painful to watch that scene.
Oh my goodness! And then the half the movie he has the thing on his nose the rest of the time. You know what happened to his nose, little fellas? They lose their nose. And that's Polanski.
That's Polanski, yeah.
And then of course the reveal at the end,
Right.
with that the son is the
Daughter, sister.
I'm his daughter. I'm his sister. I'm his daughter. I'm his sister. He's just smacking her back and forth. John Huston in that movie. This time watching it, to me, that is a horror performance. He's playing a monster in that movie, on par with whatever fucking monster.
I mean, in a way, he's a better actor than director. I mean,
in that, he says something about there's one line he says where he growls it. He's like, "You would be surprised what you're capable of," and he just like kind of growls this, and it's demonic. And then at the end, when again, spoilers, everybody.
Spoiler.
Faye Dunaway gets shot in the eye,
Right.
and the little girl, her daughter / sister, is next to her in the car screaming, and John Huston comes over, and he's like, "Oh no!" But you can tell that he's faking being sad, and then he just grabs the little girl's face and takes her away.
Right.
That's a monster. That's a fucking monster. I loved it. That surprised me the most on this viewing is how goddamn good John Huston is in that movie.
Movie was about the best,
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what's funny? The first time I watched it, I loved it, but I didn't understand why I thought it was boring. The reason why I thought it was boring was because I wasn't really connecting to the whole water aspect of it. But then later on, when I lived in LA and I sort of understood the story of that's really what happened. They tried to steal the water from the and then the people made all these money and all this shit. What a great thing to do. Robert Towne, right?
Yeah.
Great fucking movie. And people say that that's a perfect screenplay.
That's many people say that's a perfect screenplay. Yeah.
And you sort of, Jack Nicholson starts out a little dry in that movie. As it goes, it's just a stellar performance. I mean, everybody in that movie.
Everybody was great. Yeah.
All right, let's just see if we can get best film noir movies. And let's see if we can get a good list this time, and just see if there's any that we missed, because we're going to keep watching them, even the ones that we haven't watched. Okay, here we go. This is an IMDb list, the top 50 noir of all time. Number 1, this is saying, is Impact.
Impact?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
An unfaithful wife plots with her lover to kill her husband, but the lover is accidentally killed instead. It's saying I don't even know any.
I
of the,
don't even know.
I don't recognize any of the names. Here's one. The Hitchhiker. This is an interesting one. This is also a public domain one, directed by a woman. Not typical.
Ida Lupino?
Ida Lupino. Yes, you're very good. That's amazing that you knew that. That's a great one. That's from 1953. Very underrated. And it is strange. It's like not many women got to direct these sort of pictures back then, and she did.
She directed a bunch of film noir movies.
Yeah. What else do we got here? Oh, Rebecca.
Oh,
Rebecca the
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That's like a haunted house movie without the ghosts.
I like that the maid.
The maid, yes, and she's at the end when the burning and all that stuff, and she's just the kind of committed,
scary woman.
Yeah, scary. What else do we got here? Notorious. We didn't really talk about a lot of Hitchcock.
No.
We mentioned him a couple of times. He made some great
movies.
Strangers on a Train.
But Notorious is
spy.
Right, but I mean, is that the noir? I never thought that was noir.
I mean, I guess there's noir elements because it's all about the perceived betrayal of how she, what's her name?
Ingrid Bergman.
Ingrid Bergman and
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant. So they're in love, but then she's forced to go undercover.
Right. So she's sleeping with the Nazi guy.
Yeah.
To get the info,
to get information. But there's parts where you're not sure if she's loyal to him, he's loyal to her, he's ready to leave the operation, she's in love with him, he's in love with her. There's a whole thing. But then at the end when he carries her out, that it comes to, I think there's noir elements in there. It's a spy thriller noir.
Oh,
you know, love these movies so much. Here's one that I want to see with Burt Lancaster, Brute Force. Everybody's saying that Brute Force is really good. I've never seen that one.
I've never seen that, no.
Yeah, I got to watch that one. And then let's see if there's any other on here that we... they're saying here, this is strange.
Yeah.
Scarface from the 30s, 1932.
Paul Mooney, original one.
Yeah, the original one, directed by Howard Hawks.
Right.
I guess. I mean, it's more of a gangster picture, right?
Yeah, it's a it's a gangster picture. I don't think it's film noir. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this list got conflated some of the stuff. But that movie's very funny, Scarface. Have you watched that recently?
Which one? Remake?
The original.
The original.
One.
No, I haven't seen remake.
It's fucking funny.
One.
There's funny shit in there that I think Martin Scorsese may have used some of that element for Goodfellas because the humor coupled with the gangster thing is sort of birthed in that movie.
Even when the globe is rotating, world is mine.
The world is yours.
The same thing as in world is same thing in the remake Scarface. So.
Amazing. Laura, this is one that's a big hole in my list. Directed by Otto Preminger.
Right.
And I've heard it's great. Gene Tierney, Dana Andrews. I never saw it.
The guy who did the music. Something Riskin. He was my teacher in the school.
Oh, you kidding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I took screen music and when I was in, and then my instructor was who composed and Laura.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
No.
No.
But thing is, since he did the Laura, then he got the good reviews, and I don't know, he won the Academy or nominated, and it's kind of sad because that's the only one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Then he came back to school and then teaching. Okay, he did the great music on the Lola, but
then
if he's great, why he's not working? Why he's teaching?
That's strange.
That's it's weird.
That's sad. Some people reach greatness and then they can't handle hold on to it essentially. Oh, Yuki. Here's a couple more. DOA. I've never seen that.
DOA.
That's supposedly a really seminal.
There was a remake with Dennis Quaid.
I remember watching that as a kid and kind of enjoying it, but I don't know now if I would like it better than the original. I got to check the original.
Yeah.
And let's leave it off with this because I have a little bit to say about this person.
Okay.
Mildred Pierce.
All right.
Okay. Did you see Mildred Pierce?
long time. I don't remember.
Joan Crawford, right?
Yeah, Joan Crawford.
Joan fucking Crawford. Let's talk about Joan Crawford for a minute because I used to only really know about Joan Crawford based on Mommy Dearest. I love Mommy Dearest still. I think it's great. Faye Dunaway.
Right.
I don't care. It's kitsch or cult or goof or whatever. Still, to me, I love watching that movie. It's fucking phenomenal. It's hilarious. She's great in it. But Liz introduced me to a show called Feud. And it's with Susan Sarandon. She plays Betty Davis. And Joan Crawford is played by Jessica Lange. Produced and written by that guy Ryan Murphy, who did American Horror Story and American Crime Story and all that stuff. Now, usually his stuff, I'm not really that into, especially the American Horror Story stuff. I kind of like the OJ show. I kind of like the show that they did about Bill Clinton. But this show, Feud, is one of the greatest miniseries I've ever seen. These two women portray those two women in such a powerful fucking way, and you get all this information that maybe it was not, maybe some of it's speculation, maybe some of it's, but a lot of it is fact checked and really happened.
Can I say in the streaming or?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, Hulu? Okay.
Yes. So it made me appreciate Joan Crawford and Betty Davis in such a major way that I want to go back and watch a lot of their stuff, just because to know how hard it was for women back then and how hard they treated themselves because they wanted to stay on top. They didn't necessarily want to be doing horror or B pictures. That is what they eventually had to do to survive. But Mildred Pierce is one that Joan Crawford was really proud of. And that has a great twist. It's a great noir. She's brilliant in it. So I would really recommend anybody who wants to get into some noir is to go see Mildred Pierce and to appreciate Joan Crawford, because she wasn't, I don't think that she was as much of a villain as that Mommy Dearest thing made her out to be. She was more complicated than that. You know, we're human beings.
Right.
We're talking about a complicated genre, and that's what is so great about film noir, is that it gets into human emotions and the gray areas of life. And I feel like Joan Crawford as a person represents film noir in a major way, because her life was a roller coaster ride. And yes, maybe she did bad things to certain people, but she also was good. And you also should feel bad for her in certain ways. She was abandoned at the end. So it was a very powerful TV show. So I highly recommend that. But I also highly recommend in the film noir genre.
So the character she played in What Happened to Baby Jane, it's kind of opposite then.
Yeah, so it goes into it in the whole show. She's the one who discovered that story, that book. Because she was like, I'm not getting any offers, so I'm going to go out and find my own project to do. And even though she had a rivalry with Betty Davis, she knew that the way forward was to give Betty Davis the show role so that she could have the sort of straight man role, you know, straight woman role, and the victim. But the twist in that movie is that she wasn't the victim. She was the one who made Baby Jane insane. It's fucking brilliant. What a great movie. That I would consider Baby Jane in the sister noir genre. I would also recommend watching that movie, because it is Betty Davis is fucking incredible in that movie, and Joan Crawford is also incredible in that movie.
I think both of them are nominated. I think.
No, so get into this. This is one of the greatest fucking Hollywood stories ever. Is that Betty Davis did get nominated in lead actress. Joan Crawford was snubbed. Yes, but Joan Crawford got so sort of crazy about it that she went around to all the other lead actresses who were nominated that year against Betty Davis and convinced them to let her accept the award on their behalf. Right? So I forgot the other women who were nominated. I know one of them, Anne Bancroft, was nominated. Geraldine Page. There you go. And so Joan Crawford went around to these people, and these women felt so bad for Joan Crawford that they said, if I win, you can accept my Oscar for me. And I think Anne Bancroft won, and Joan Crawford accepted the award.
Really?
And it was all to be a big snub to Betty Davis, who in the show they make it probably more dramatic in the show than it is in real life.
Right.
But there's real footage of Joan Crawford accepting the award on behalf
for Anne Bancroft.
for Anne Bancroft. So in essence, Joan Crawford made sure that she was the one who had the upper hand in the situation. It's amazing. And then in the show, they show her walking off past Betty Davis, and Betty Davis is about to cry and all that stuff. So fucking good. And like I said, Susan Sarandon and Jessica Lange, powerhouse performances. And then also you get Alfred Molina in the show as Robert Aldridge. And or was it Richard or Robert? Robert Aldridge?
Yeah,
Robert.
And then Stanley Tucci as Jack Warner.
Oh.
Great fucking cast. So anybody who disparages Ryan Murphy from now on, I'm going to kind of say, well, have you seen Feud? It's a goddamn masterpiece.
I have to see it.
So, all right, that's sort of our. Even though we're leaving off on a TV show note, like let's just say which ones would we highly. What's the say 4 or 5 most important ones that you would say to watch for people? Film noir.
Sunset Boulevard.
I agree with that.
Well, the In the Lonely Place.
I would add in a Lonely Place, absolutely. I would say start there. And if you think that those movies are incredible,
right,
and they move you in some sort of certain way,
or maybe that and the Chinatown, those.
Well, Chinatown, but that's Neo. But that's something that is sort of they're playing with the rules a little bit in that. But yeah, those are some of the ones that we would recommend. And then if you want to graduate from those, if you haven't seen those, go into Mildred Pierce.
Right.
Go into some of the Hitchcock noirs. Go into the Orson Welles noirs. Go and see the Bogey and Bacall movies, even though Yuki doesn't appreciate them. They're masterpieces, especially Key Largo.
And then the new generation, I would say, okay, if you don't want to go that far, like Body Heat.
Oh, Body Heat's great, yeah.
Right? And then the Yakuza, Chinatown, those, 70s, those movies are good too. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
To start. Then if you interested in then maybe I should see Real Noir.
Real Noir, go back. We didn't even talk about some of the other Fuller ones or some of the Fritz Lang ones, Woman in the Window,
right,
or Scarlet Woman or whatever that one is, the one, with Edward G. also. So there's so many. We may even be able to do another episode on film noir. Maybe we do neo noir and touch upon.
Yeah, we do the neo noir. That's good. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that was Yuki and John's
John and Yuki
podcast buffet about film noir. Hopefully this wasn't as stupid as farts. Fart noir. Because instead, if you get fart noir, you do, instead of black and white, you do brown and white. I think we came up with a new genre here, and then we'll do grass noir with Terrence Malick. Brown grass noir.
New World.
The New World. That's right. That one with Colin Farrell and all. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yuki and John.